We need more doctors. We can't employ them. We don't have enough doctors in the system. How do we solve this?
The problem that we have is not a doctor problem. Imagine you're getting into the market today. The question that you'd be asking yourself is, I am getting into this sea of so many people. There are very few jobs. What can I be able to do, and how can I be able to navigate through this?
Subscribe now for more on the Think Talk podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prof, and truly appreciate it. The problem that we have is not a doctor problem at all.
I like that.
So, let me start with median age. So if you look at Zambia today, what's our median age? Our median age is about 17.9. And that is very, very low. The ideal median age should be somewhere around 30 for any economy. Anything below 30, what it means then is that you have a lot more younger people that are actually being offloaded on the market, and you do not have enough facilities, you do not have enough employment, you do not have enough activities, and more are being poured out in the market. Now, what we are seeing, or what we are witnessing here, I can tell you is exactly the same. If you look at lawyers, there are so many lawyers, and somebody has to study something, so somebody has to do something. If you look at any profession, teachers, nurses, engineers, everyone, everywhere where you go, Prof has mentioned, the time we were at uni, even in natural sciences, we were very few. The time, we were graduating, we were very few. But if you look at how many students are there today, there are so many that are being poured out in the market. Where are they going and what is there? Now, there are so many ways of solving that. Now, we need to think about it in two ways. There is a problem of solving that situation for the whole country, and there is also an opportunity of solving it for yourself. And that is where we need to think about it in both ways. Now, coming to yourself, imagine you're getting into the market today. The question that you'd be asking yourself is, I am getting into this sea of so many people. There are very few jobs. What can I be able to do, and how can I be able to navigate through this? So I'll be very quick on this one, and then I'll hand over the mic. In terms of opportunities, do not always only think about what we have always known, to say you finish, you go and do your 1 year internship, and then the government employs and so on. No. Think about it in many different ways. Number one, you have been trained. Can you become a trainer yourself? Can you open a training school yourself, and in what areas? And by the way, there's something again, Prof, that mentioned to say, we are seeing doctors here, they don't know anything, they only know how to be a doctor. That in itself is a problem. Now, for the younger ones who are still in school, who are still studying, please, if the only thing that you're doing is being in the library from 8 up to 22 and to the lectures, the life is passing you by. Do not allow life to pass you by.
Here. Big hand.
A+ and distinctions are not enough. In terms of business, you have to start learning business much earlier. And I'll give you my own example. I used to wake up people at 5 a.m. to go for prayers when I was a student. And I realized that people were struggling to wake up in the morning. What did I do? I went to Kamwala, bought alarm clocks, came back to university. I advertised alarm clocks, Soweto 422. Within 30 minutes, I started with 20. All of them were sold. I was making a profit of 120%. I went back to Kamwala, bought some more, until the entire university got flooded with my alarm clocks. Winter season, I went and bought from Salaula a winter jacket that I came, and everyone was asking me, where did you get, and in fact we bought two. I bought mine, and my wife now, who was my fiancée, also bought one. So we discussed, let's go and find money. We went and bought a bell. Zambezi 122 advertised winter jackets, winter jackets. We opened, the students came. Now, those kind of business, and I can go on and on and on and on. I opened a computer training, computer lessons in my room. Please come. I had 2 students. I ended up having more than 30 students. I hired 2 other students to help me to teach computer lessons. It's not now. You guys may not understand it because now everybody has computers. In those days, there were no computers. There were very few, even just having an access to a laptop. So why am I sharing all of this? Don't wait until it is too late. Start now. And in business, you are actually learning. The reason I'm sharing this is because what you have known today can help you to see where the gap is. Today, you can go into agriculture, not just agriculture, no, but because you're a doctor, you know which are the medical plants that can actually change people's health and people's lives. Nobody else knows that. You're a doctor, so you can be able to do that. So you know where something is missing. I can go on and on, but let me pause there and allow the others to be able to contribute. Thank you.
So you have not forgotten the point, right? It's basically this dilemma. How do we find the solution? And let's move to Cecily.
Thank you very much, moderator. Just before we came into this room, I was interviewing the doctor who treats men. I wanted to hear a little bit more about how a doctor is trained. And one thing that I learned today is that in your syllabus, you do not have any financial education. And when I asked Professor, he said to me, actually, we are overloaded. They even want us to load more subjects because we need to know a lot more. You know, times are changing and all. And the accountant in me, the chartered accountant in me said, there lies a problem. It was brilliant to see the ideas that were being pitched there. I work for an organization called Impact Hub Lusaka, and our role is to help entrepreneurs, innovators, to thrive, to accelerate, and to reach their possible goal. Now, everything starts with an idea. You can have the idea, but if you don't have financial literacy, you will not be able to make it. A lot of people sit back and say, I don't have the capital. But capital is there. There's a lot that you already have just by having those brilliant. Already I picked 10 businesses here and I'm like, okay, that's a good one. That can work. So what it needs is a process that helps you to prototype. Prototyping being that trying out whether this idea can really work or it cannot work. And that's what we at Impact Hub do. We give space. We've got space which we allow entrepreneurs to come and set up their businesses, and whilst they're there, we're mentoring them, we're giving them a lot of support, financial education, and also helping them to connect to the right networks which will enable them to bring those ideas that they have, whether they need funding. And it's also about having that ability to know that everything is a risk. Even just being here is a risk. So certain times we find that we're not able to assess the risks that we are exposed to in business. We think we shall fail and will not be able to try. There's nothing wrong in failing, but there's everything wrong in not being able to make a decision to do something. You end up regretting. So what you've started now, Professor, is so profound because you have identified the problem. What remains now is to think without a box. I'll leave it at that for now.
Thank you. And correctly so, we are at Africa Must Think, sir. Please picking up. Pick it up, sir.
All right, thank you so much. Such an honor to be here and such a privilege to be around these exceptional people in front. This has been a long time coming. The medical doctors were just the last ones to be hit. We have been seeing it long before now. We saw it with teachers. There was a time where we had over 100,000 teachers who were not employed, and we thought it was for teachers. The train then hit the lawyers. It felt like, no, maybe it is just lawyers. The train hit accountants. I'm a chartered accountant too. And we thought it would end there. And no one would dream that medical doctors would also be hit. And finally, it has come through. Now, with this said, I would put it twofold. So the challenge that we've had is that is one that has to do with the mindset to start with. I know that medical doctors are there to offer a service, and they are there to help the population, as it were. But I would wish to challenge our mindset and our thinking to begin embracing the thought of entrepreneurship, seeing how you can enterprise, even with the training that you already have. And if I'm to put it across, I would say it this way. Medical doctors have everything that it takes to become a very powerful entrepreneur.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
A big hand, a big hand, a big hand. You have got everything. Continue,
Let me put
sir.
it across this way. Number one, for you to become a successful entrepreneur, you need to have the ability to harness delayed gratification. Not to enjoy the profits now and eat the profits now, but to delay that gratification. But you know what? Medical doctors are in school for 7 years. That is delayed gratification. You are starting year one, and you know that you'll be stuck in that for 7 years. That discipline of delayed gratification is what is needed for one to succeed as an entrepreneur. For you to succeed as an entrepreneur, you need discipline. You look at the amount of discipline that medical doctors put in their studies. That is a lot of discipline. You look at the amount of sacrifice. For you to succeed as an entrepreneur, there's a lot of sacrifice. There are certain things that you need to forego. But you look at the amount of sacrifice. Some of them don't party. And some of them don't even have boyfriends and girlfriends here. Oh, those are sacrifices. Hallelujah.
Amen.
But that's a lot of sacrifice. Now, all those are tenets that are needed for one to succeed as an entrepreneur. So if you make it as a medical doctor, just know that that which makes you a successful medical doctor are the traits that would also make you as a successful entrepreneur. But here's where the challenge is, why a number of medical doctors would not ideally think of entrepreneurship. It is normally because of the opportunity cost. The thinking is that, hey, I've already been in this thing for all these years. Why should I jump into something else and struggle? So they would rather remain in the medical field thinking that I've done all the investment. I don't need to move anywhere else and suffer. I've already suffered enough. As a result, they would want to remain thinking of medicine. So now with that said, I would wish to challenge all of us to begin embracing the thought of entrepreneurship. There is so much more that can be achieved, and you are already well positioned. Everything you've learned has positioned you well to become a successful entrepreneur. I think I can end it there for now.
Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. I'm really, really excited to meet all of you and just share my story. So I work with an organization called Copperos, and with Copperos, we are serving young people and ensuring that they live happily, healthy, and to their full potential. So Copperos started as an idea on campus, Ridgeway campus, and we started off with a menstrual health and hygiene idea. And our plan was to collect money to buy pads for vulnerable girls. A lot of the journey started from the need to create impact, but also I felt a lot of disconnect from the medical fraternity. A lot of things at the time were making me feel like I can do more, I can be more. And so we started Copperos with no money at all. So a lot of times people come and they think they'll start a business when they have capital, or they'll start a business when they get money from someone else. The truth is that you can even start a business with students on campus. And over the years, we have grown into a national organization and soon to be regional organization with a main focus on still working with young people and helping them to live happy and healthy lives. Some of the challenges I've seen and I've experienced with doctors, first of all, a background to why I'm going to talk about the challenges that we actually hire doctors at Copperose. From our inception, we've hired almost more than 20 doctors, and we have doctors on the team. And I see so many challenges when it comes to hiring doctors. The first 2 doctors we hired said no to the job offer. So we do have doctors who were from inception, but a lot of you struggle with pride. A lot of you feel like getting a job outside the hospital is just a waste of time. It's something you are doing while you're waiting for the opportunity. So my role also involves counseling and breaking down that pride that a lot of you have and trying to get you to function in the workforce. Pride or your doctor title can open a lot of doors, but it can also close them. Because often there's that, you don't want to learn from other people. I'm sure some of you have heard that C students hire A students. Everyone on my team is smarter than me. And I'm a C student doctor, very proud to say that. Because just like Mr. Zulu said, there's need for you to think outside school while you're in school. Because no one cares that you're a doctor. When you're walking in town, does anyone know you're a doctor? So a lot of times that hinders doctors. So challenges I face, Prof, is that some of them say no. Some of them feel like, what am I going to tell my mom? What are you going to tell your parents? When we started Copperose and when I decided to step down from hospital work, I started when I was in 5th year. And by 7th year, I knew that I wasn't going to be a hospital person. So starting early, knowing what you want very early in life is very important because you have a longer runway for execution. So by the time I was disclosing it to my parents that I'm not probably going to go back, it was so hard for them. And so doctors also struggle with the community pressure of being in the hospital. Another thing I see also is that doctors are not very open about learning from others. We apply leadership at the wrong time or at the wrong, mostly at the wrong time or inappropriately, and that really does hinder their abilities. But over the years, I've come to find that you could use your skills to go far. I'll tell you this, one of the skills I really love is being able to stay up at night. Today I slept at 6 a.m. Can you see it? I mean, we used to be on call for over 36 hours. And I'm carrying that with me. If I have 3 proposals due, we're going to stay up. I'm going to stay up and review all of them for submission. And today was one of those nights. So I feel like that's a blessing in disguise that you can use if you just apply the right lens. Before I hand over to the next speaker, I just want to say that we have so many abilities that we don't even know we have. If only we can open up our minds to the vastness of the opportunities that are out there. There are a lot of opportunities. There are a lot of resources. The amount of money that we've been able to raise, I can't even believe. I didn't even know it existed. But it comes from putting yourself out there and giving it a shot, even when people don't understand what you're doing. I loved the ideas, and I'm thinking of buying one of these ideas, actually.
Exactly my point. Did you hear? So, I was telling my earlier panel that the reason I wanted to bring you here, it was also matchmaking. I was telling them this. I want you to hear ideas. This is not about sitting and mentoring people from a distance. It's really holding people through this. So this idea is good, and we'll share with you all these details. Cecilia, pick this one, mentor this one. In next year's presentation, we want these incubators to be saying, we have made this, we have employed this dog, so that another group can start. And then they are also mentored. Because when they are applying like to a bank to reach Sunny Zulu's office, like the secretaries are stopping you and the security guard, you can't meet the man. But this was my classmate. No, sir, you come tomorrow. What? So even if you have got a brilliant idea, nothing works. Now here is Sunny together with us. Friends, let's finish business here. All right, Doc, you've been in private sector and public sector. Can you, and also you work with men. what business opportunities exist from men, just men? Over to you, Doc.
Thank you very much, Professor. So, well, where to start from? Yes, a few years ago, I used to do, sports medicine. Yes, so I used to go with this team. We used to go for football. And one of the favorite parts was the team talk, like just before a match. So you'd have this briefing where they tell you who's starting and who's doing what. And there were like different coaches. And one coach one day said something that was quite transformative. He said something to say. I'll use Bemba, because that's the language he used. He said, Baiche, kutureyoku, impiashaba mubantu. So don't be scared to be physical. And yeah, as literal as that would be, but it had a very big connotation. It was saying, provided you are isolated from people or you're not part of the people, you'll never get the opportunity. So you literally have to engage. So how does that resonate with you? I think as a doctor who came through, obviously, a similar picture to professors where we're getting job offers, like just the moment you just qualify, there's a list that goes to MOH and someone comes and says, oh, this is how you write an application letter. And over time, that used to happen. But then looking back, I asked myself to say, really, did that really help us? No, it didn't. It boxed us. Because as much as, yes, we got that benefit, of course, with numbers increasing, that couldn't go on. So, how can you, as an up-and-coming doctor, penetrate or be able to just traverse through most of these problems that you're having? I liked his presentation, where he talked about things. Some of the things I could highlight is, one, who knows you? Believe you me, it's very important. And also, you need to ask yourself, what do I want to be known for? And be consistent. I always tell my medical students to say, look, I think life starts when you're still in training. The attitude you have towards work, even just these small assignments, contributes a lot to what becomes of you when you graduate. Because, I mean, we are actually forming an individual. It forms a character. But I must add that these are things that they're not stagnant. These are things that you can actually change as if there's a problem that you've identified or has been spotted, it's something that you can easily change. So from the private side, what I would say is, one, be there, be consistent, and as an up-and-coming doctor, how can you, when probably you have not gotten your licensing, you still haven't done internship and the like. A few years ago, I had a chat with some people. I was doing some locums at Minnesota Hospital, and they had quite a lot of volunteer doctors, and most of them were very hardworking. So I engaged them, asked them to say, look, you're going to spend 2 years here, and most of you end up, when the government offers you a job, you're going to start this thing all over again. So meaning, this would seem like you've wasted, I think, 2 years. So why don't you talk to the superiors so that you model this as your internship, so that if you're going to spend 2 years here, it will count for, I mean, someone, if at all I need to get my practicing license, this is what I'm going to use. So some heed the advice, others moved from there, went to UTH or these other public hospitals, and they started the internship as such. So the point there was, as much as possible, I think be ready to start from nowhere. Just be ready to start from zero, and like Natasha said, pride has been our downfall. Yes, generally as doctors, pride has been our downfall. One, probably there's a bit of societal pressure, but believe you me, be ready to start from zero. So I like the fact that you guys are getting these entrepreneurial skills and you're harnessing them and you're honing them. Up until I sat next to her, I thought she was a doctor practicing somewhere. Because I think when we're in medical school, of course, yeah, you assume whoever you saw in medical school was going to end up being a doctor and practicing somewhere. So like, when she told me she had digressed, I was like, oh, okay, that's good. And I think that's the type of thing that we need to embrace. And also one important thing is you need to, first and foremost, identify yourself. Know what sort of doctor, or do you want to be a doctor, or where do you want to be, like in the long run? But I think our training over the years has been, like most of us are coined with that mind to say, I always have to be in the hospital.
I'll stop you, Doc, there, so that we can, thank you so much. So I'll ask just a question to all of you, can just speak it and comment. Now we are saying wake up socially, but also I think there's some wake up in other sectors. So which sectors do you think the doctors can thrive, and what's your experience? Maybe you have seen other people do this kind of thing.
Some of you might find this very surprising, okay? I wouldn't encourage any one of you to describe yourself as a doctor. No.
Did you hear that? Okay.
I don't describe myself as a banker. The moment I say I'm a banker, I'm boxing myself into banking. The moment I'm introducing myself as a banker, everybody's only seeing a banker, and I'm limiting myself. There's so much. Yes, you happen to have started banking, but to have studied medicine. And it's a skill that you have, but you're still the same you. Who are you? And wherever you are, how can you use what you have acquired? And by the way, it is not only medicine that you have acquired. I was impressed to see so much talent here. All of that makes you who you are. How does that come together? Let me tell you, I did metallurgical engineering at university. One of the things that had really helped me to step up very quickly in banking was engineering, because in those days, I went into the bank, I found somebody who was trying to do batching at the bank. They were trying to copy in Excel. Some of this might sound very, you cannot relate because it's a long time ago. Somebody was trying to copy in Excel. So the credit and the debit. So you're going onto this cell, right-click, copy, right-click, paste, right-click, copy, right. I'm like, what's going on here? But because I was an engineer, had done computers, I was an Excel guru at that age, and I was given, to work with those, closing accounts, about 3,000. I did that within the shortest possible time. And then everybody came in. Oh, wow, have you seen this brilliant graduate that we have hired? It had nothing to do with banking, nothing. But the skill that I had acquired helped me to step up, and everybody in the boardroom, we're actually talking about Sunny Zulu, everybody, no, we want you in our department, we want you in our department. Nothing to do with banking. So if I look at where you are and what you have done, think about that. So I love the conversation here about TikTok. Don't go to TikTok and talking about dancing, no, you're a doctor. How can you bring your medicine stuff, what you have studied, onto TikTok and you attract a completely different following? If you're going to do a YouTube channel, what kind of YouTube channel are you going to do? And all of this, the talent, including the dance that you are doing here, don't just dance mungulu mungulu, no. When you're dancing, bring what you have studied in there. Let me just, I don't know, you allow me. Let me try to stand. Okay? So, for example, I don't know much about my muscles, about the hip, about this. You guys know that better. So you can actually say, and you can go completely different direction to say, you know what, I'm going to teach you a dance that helps you to strengthen your pelvic bones. So when you're dancing, you understand? It is not just dancing.
No.
There's something that you know that we don't know, and you bring that one in. So my encouragement is, wherever you are, whatever you are doing, people have got sleep apnea and everything else. You know that? Do you know I'm sure you know that the medicine that is selling more today is lifestyle medicine, maintenance medicines. Yeah, for BP. And do you know most of the people who are taking that are wealthy people? Most of the wealthy people today, they're on BP medicine, they're on diabetes. You look at that and say, how can I solve a problem for these wealthy people? Why should they depend on this medication? Today, people are going all the way to India to go for a PET scan. All the way, not for solution, to go for a PET scan. You know how much a PET scanner is? You can get a PET scanner, the lower version, for about $250,000. We have got more cars on our roads that are worth far much more than $250,000, but the whole country, we don't have any. People are traveling either to South Africa or they're going all the way to India. Now, you guys know that more than most people. If you were able to say, you know what, which 2 cars can we sell? What can we do? And open one here in Zambia and to say, before you go to South Africa, before you go to India, even the lower version, that is something that you have solved a problem. You have queues coming over. But what I'm sharing with you in terms of what opportunities, you are able to see those opportunities far much more than anybody else. And the opportunities, many times, they are right in front of our noses.
Excellent. Thank you. So a big hand for Son. That was good. Yes. Any quick comments on that matter?
So as Sunny was speaking, I was thinking to myself, I've always said a chartered accountant can work anywhere, because everywhere you find a need for an accountant. And as I was reflecting on what he was saying, I was like, wait a minute, a doctor can work practically anywhere.
Did you hear that? Guys, a big hand to yourselves. So you can't say unemployed from what I'm hearing. You can't say unemployed because you have not looked. Yeah. Let's stop there because you can think I'm insulting. Let's continue. Yes.
So because you can work anywhere, it means that the opportunities are vast. You can move in almost every sector that there is. And one thing that I really admire your profession for is the research that you continuously do. The world is not remaining static. So there's so much. There's so much to discover. There's so many solutions that the world is looking for. And they're lying right there in front of you. What you need to do is to harness those opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Cecilia. Africa must think. I think it's starting now.
All right. The contributions coming in are really, really interesting. Let me begin by indicating this. Regardless of the field that you have studied, an accountant, medical doctor, pharmacist, whichever field that one has studied, it underscores one thing, that you are trainable. That's what it does. So regardless of the field, just know that you are trainable, meaning you can easily do anything else quite easily. That is why he's a metallurgist, he's a CEO of a bank. He's an engineer, but a CEO of a bank. I'm a chartered accountant. I did run a transport company. So the first company with 2 other friends was a software company. The most used school management system in Zambia was created myself and 2 other friends. I'm an accountant. Those of you that know my story will know that I was in transport. I had these 30-ton trucks. I'm an accountant. The business that I run now, which is the main one, it's a tech business. We manufacture your driving licenses and whatnot. I am an accountant. I'm running a tech business. And I am not technical. But because I was trained as an accountant, I can easily understand certain things. When you have been educated formally, like the formal education, it simply shows that you can easily mutate. And I may not be a medical doctor, but one thing I know is that pathogens, the things that cause the diseases, the bacteria and whatnot, they mutate for a simple reason. Not that they want to kill you really, but because they just want to survive. That's why you keep changing the medication for malaria from chloroquine to what?
To Coatem now.
To Coatem now. But you had all these. It is because they keep mutating. They want to survive. It's a way of survival. So in a similar way, you need then to begin seeing how you can mutate, in order for you to survive. And I'll close it off this way. What business can you do? You can do any business. The best school in Mazabuka, Ebenezer School, is run by a medical doctor. A medical doctor, he's in education. That is the best school in Mazabuka, arguably the best school. And you can do any business. It simply shows that the 7 years, the 6 years that you've actually spent in school, it shows that you are trainable. And I'll close it off this way by saying, let us move away from a certain mentality. And that mentality is the entitlement mentality.
Did you hear that? A big hand, a big hand, a big hand.
The entitlement mentality. And I'll say this without an ounce of doubt and without feeling otherwise. Medical doctors feel so entitled.
Yes, we do, sir. Yes.
You do, yeah.
Yes.
And I'll put it across this way. You are in charge of your life. The moment you leave your life in the hands of others, you have lost it. If you are at the mercy of another person making decisions for your life, then you are messed up. It is unfortunate that you are here. I know that for you to get a license, there is all that is needed. I totally sympathize with you. But even then, I would wish to challenge you that take charge of your life. Let us move away from the entitlement mentality. So many more doors are going to open for you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Doc, pick it up.
I just want to say a medical degree is a foundation, not a destination. So a medical degree is a foundation on which you can start, and you need to layer it with so many different things. There are different companies or spaces where you can work. We have insurance firms, banks, audit firms also hire, regardless of whatever degree that someone has. When you think about starting your own thing, always think about solving a problem. And when you're solving a problem, it's not the problem that you think is there, but a problem that is perceived by others. And once you solve a problem, the money is definitely going to follow after that. But what I find also is that I was just talking to Dr. Chewe and I was telling him that I was looking for someone to service my wig, right? The top 3 people that do wigs are doctors. On TikTok, I found them on TikTok. There's one called the Wig Doctor. How many have seen them? So that person is a medical doctor and they do wigs. So just like what has been said, there are so many different things you can do, especially in the beauty, cosmetics industry for women, and including trading and many other spaces. But it just comes down to realizing that your degree is a foundation and you need to build on it with many different things, and the opportunities are endless. There are so many companies that are here, and I'm very sure that they are willing to hire doctors. As you meet with different people, are you looking to them as a possible employer? Or are you
They're not even asking. Yeah, they are looking.
Have you asked for any job while you've been here?
All right.
Has anyone asked for a job while they've been here? Yeah, so when you're asking for a job, maybe I can just share how to ask for a job. Yeah, it's because people ask me, but I always see how wrong it is. First of all, when you ask for someone's number, don't just say hi. Hi, my name is Natasha. I met you at the Entrepreneurial Indaba last week. These are my skills. Please let me know when I can have a coffee with you. So you present your skills because people pay for your time and your skills. So if you're coming apologetic or not presenting skills, it's very hard. But the first thing you can do if you're in your final year or you've just graduated, ask for jobs directly as possible. And as you look for your first job, don't think about money. Think about building skills. The skills you need to build is communication. Some of you can't even communicate what you want, right? Even just writing an email, I've had doctors who come, they don't know how to write an email. When replying, they draft a new one to reply to the email that you sent. Yeah, so build tech skills, build communication skills, build public speaking skills, because people will pay you for skills and not for the degree that you've done. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes. So, Doc, where can doctors, you talked about sports. Can you just mention just few things and then we should be closing, friends? I think I don't want to take too long. Just I'll come for your last remarks.
Okay, thank you very much. So sports is another sector that you can venture into. It doesn't need you to be very qualified. You have the requisite skills just by being a doctor. Another thing is, remember, you have a very, very high IQ. Number 3, look at your talents. Like what makes, say Natasha, not you, Natasha in the crowd. Like what makes Natasha? What are my top 3 strengths? And what are the things that I'm scared of? What am I afraid of? So you can either choose to go with your strengths or choose to work on the things that you think you're not very comfortable in. Because believe you me, before you know it, you become so good. And remember, if I told you you're good at 3 things and you add 3 more things, you have 6 skills with you. And out of those 6 skills, believe you me, there will be an opportunity for you somewhere. So don't underrate yourself. You are your own biggest resource. And the world is watching and waiting for you to just step out of your shell.
Subscribe now for more on the Think Talk podcast.